So we just talked about open a goal and actually setting up your day so you can succeed and doing the activities that generate the outcomes, which is more engaged leads, which means more money for your business. So now let's talk about the roadmap. So I like talking about where we're gonna go so you know what it looks like when it's right, when it's all the way maxed out. So we're gonna go from total dirt to total clouds in one video, okay? So here's the 7 levels, all right? So level 1 is your friends know about your stuff, all right? To start getting engaged leads, you make one offer to one avatar on one platform. The moment you get engaged leads is the moment you can start making money. For me, this is when I started reaching out to everyone I knew. The primary action at this level is warm outreach. This is level 1. Level 2 is you consistently let everyone you know about the stuff you sell. You know the exact inputs to get an engaged lead with your chosen advertising method. For me, on top of warm outreach, I maximize my personal work capacity with paid ads using a case study as my lead magnet. But looking back, I wish I would have started posting free content, so I suggest doing that. Primary actions. Do as much warm outreach and post as much content as you can consistently. That's level 2. Level 3, you get employees to help you do more advertising. You've maxed out your personal advertising inputs, but not the platform. And if you want more engaged leads, that can only mean one thing, doing more. For me, I hired a videographer and a media buyer to take most of the paid ads work off my plate. So my primary action is you hire people to advertise profitably on your behalf. Level 4, your product is good enough to get consistent referrals. So you continue building goodwill and shoot for getting 25% or more of your customers from referrals. Now, you've set yourself up to ramp your advertising again. But to make that work, you have to get more serious about hiring a team to make it happen. So the primary actions now, you focus on your product until you get consistent referrals and then go back to scaling your advertising with a bigger team. This is a key point that I feel like a lot of people miss. They keep scaling the advertising without looking back at the product. It was just your BS 101 product. It was your MVP. It's still probably not good enough. Now, it may have been the best thing you possibly could have made, which is what it should have been, right? But today, your standards should raise. And so you can go back, improve those things, follow the 6 steps in the referral process that I walked through of making the thing better. Go and keep doing that process. That's the back-end continuous improvement cycle so that you can keep improving it so it doesn't fall off or get out of date while you continue to let more people know about what you sell, because eventually they'll start letting people know that it's out of date and it sucks, which is what you don't want. So make sure you get the product cadence in place. Make sure you're getting referrals as the measurement to show that it's actually good enough, that it is still working, that you don't have these crazy churn people exiting on the back end, because otherwise you enter the hamster wheel of death, which is really tough and very hard to get out of. So it's worth doing this, slowing down in the short term so you can go faster in the long term. Right? I had a mentor who was the COO of Broadcom, $100 billion, I think it's a $100 billion company, very, very big. And he used to always tell me, he said, you got to go slow to go fast. And I didn't, honestly, when he told me that, I didn't really get it. And I feel like I get it now. And so I'm trying to give that lesson to you, at least as I learned it. And so this is where most people mess up and they let their product slip and they never really recover because their brand and their reputation is messed up forever. And it takes way longer to fix that. So level 5, you don't make that mistake. You fix the product. You make sure that the referrals are on point and they stay on point as you continue to scale. And you advertise in more places, in more ways, with more people. So first, you expand to new audiences on your best platform. Then you make ads with all placements and all media types the platform supports. And after your team can get consistent results, you expand your team again to add another platform, lead getter, or core 4 activity. So the primary action here is you advertise profitably using at least 2 methods on multiple platforms. Level 6, you hire killers. Your executives grow departments specific to an advertising method or platform without you. And you're not looking for potential. You're looking for experienced leaders specializing in exactly what you want. So veteran executives and stronger incentives. You tie them more to the outcomes and they come in having done exactly what you want them to do. We're not looking for people who can win a gold. We're looking for people who've already won the gold multiple times and we just want them to win it with us. All right, so the primary action is get battle-hardened executives and department heads to take over new advertising activities and channels. And I want to be clear about this one. When it comes to the marketing stuff and acquisition stuff, I care more about years of experience than years of age. All right, so if somebody's been advertising for 10 years and they start when they're 15, a lot of times would prefer that guy who's 25 over somebody who has been advertising for 40 years and only got to a certain level because they probably don't have the chops and they're not nearly as in touch. And if someone's way too up high in terms of the fact that like they were a massive corporation and they don't really remember like what's new, they're really just a manager of people, those people kind of scare me and often don't work out. So I want to still make sure that this person has the chops and then I can teach them the leadership skills to grow the team. So pro tip here, hire experience, not potential, right? I tried cold outreach twice before it worked the 3rd time. And the main difference was the person I hired to run it. The first time I did it, I tried someone external with experience. So external my business and a consultant, and that failed. Then I tried internally with no experience, and that failed. And then finally, I hired internally with experience, and that worked. And since it's a people-heavy, operationally complex machine, the person you hire to manage the team matters a lot. Pick experience. They should know more about it than you do. If you feel like you're teaching them, you've already lost, in my opinion. All right, so if you're not learning from them in the interview process, this is the litmus test, then you've got the wrong person. So like you should feel like in the interview, you're like, wow, this person knows way more than I do. That's when you know you probably got your guy or your gal. Level 7. I'll come back and edit this chapter once I cross 1 billion. I promise. I'll send the lessons as soon as I have them. You have my word. So I haven't been there yet, but I'll tell you what happens when I do. And so here's my last points. I know this can look clean, like on paper, but it never is, right? Real business is messy. It takes a lot to find what audiences, lead methods, platforms work best, and you can only find out what works if you try. So you have to try a lot of different things, a lot of different ways for a long enough time to know for sure. And nobody can ever know the absolute best thing to do. But I do know this, the more you advertise, the more people find out about your stuff, the more people who know about the stuff you sell, the more people ultimately buy it. And this is the key to the $100 million leads machine, is getting more people to know about your stuff. And so this is what that machine looks like. Your media team scales tons of free content in all media types on many platforms. You regularly make offers to your warm audience to get more customers or affiliates. You have a ravenous audience, makes anything you launch immediately profitable. You have teams running and scaling profitable paid ads across multiple platforms. This is what it looks like. Your cold outreach team gets you more customers than you possibly manage. You have an affiliate manager launching and integrating new affiliates every day. You have recruiters and recruiting agencies bringing in more lead getters into your business. Your product is so good that 1/3 of your customers bring you more customers. Your executive team drives all this growth without you. And you have more engaged leads than you can possibly handle. Entrepreneurship isn't for the faint of heart. The load is heavy and the road is long. And that is the roadmap of where we're trying to go.